What is going on, Trash Talkers? We're back with another episode for you. Today's video, we're going to give you our power rankings for Week 6 in the NFL. All that and much more coming your way right now! Hey Trash Talkers, over 85% of you are still not subscribed to the channel. Please be sure to hit that red subscribe button and turn on notifications, as it will help us create more daily content for you. Thank you and enjoy today's video. All right, Nick, Week 5 is officially in the books. We have seen some incredible games up until this point, and it's really laid the landscape for our power rankings for the entire league. We kind of know who's at the top, and we really know who's at the bottom, but it's the whole middle that's been shifted quite a bit, and I think we're starting to see the teams really filter out here. So why don't we jump into it, starting off with 32 and 31. Obviously, this hasn't changed in a couple of weeks, but the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Detroit Lions, in that order, still the two winless teams that we have in the NFL.
Yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars, again, are a terrible team, and when they face the Tennessee Titans, they look even worse. They should have had a solid game. I thought they even had a shot to possibly win that game, and they just proved me wrong. The Jacksonville Jaguars are by far and away the worst team, and the Detroit Lions, all they have to do is get one win, and they could easily move up this ladder board. The Detroit Lions have been so close to victory, but they keep losing out to these last-second field goals. One of these games, their luck will turn. I think the Lions are a lot better than their record shows.
Next up, we start off with the New York Jets at number 30, the Houston Texans at 29, the Falcons at 28, the New York Giants at 27, the Chicago Bears at 26, the Philadelphia Eagles at 25, the Denver Broncos at 24, the San Francisco 49ers at 23, the Washington football team at 22, and the Indianapolis Colts at 21. Nick, which one of these teams surprised you the most, or it makes the most sense to be here?
The Giants, to me, are one of those teams that had a glimmer of hope coming into this Dallas Cowboys matchup, a big win against the New Orleans Saints in Week 4, and then the Dallas Cowboys, their biggest arch rival. The Dallas Cowboys have been great this year. This would have been a great game for Daniel Jones to prove that the Giants have what it takes to compete in this division. But with Saquon Barkley and his ankle, and then Daniel Jones, the concussion, Kenny Golladay and his knee, it was a bad day for the New York Giants, and this is going to be the start of a very bad skid. There really is nothing Joe Judge can do. The offensive line was absolutely abysmal. Mike Lennon can't operate behind this line. I don't expect this team to really be able to do much of anything moving forward. It's a very unfortunate circumstance for the New York Giants, something that they're just going to have to work through. And you know what? They just got to look forward to next year at this point.
Absolutely. And talking about a team that really let you down, the Denver Broncos, they looked so high as they were sitting 3-0 atop the AFC West division. They were tied with the Raiders, and this team looked poised for some greatness. Teddy Bridgewater at the helm, the offense was clicking, the defense was shutting everyone down, and now they have suffered a rash of injuries that has really rendered them hopeless. They put up a good fight against the Steelers, I'll give them that, but at the end of the day, the battered Pittsburgh Steelers were able to hang 27 on them and really take it to them all afternoon long. It did not look pretty for Teddy Bridgewater. It didn't look good for this offense. It seemed like they were flustered most of the night, and it just didn't look like the Broncos team that we saw go 3-0 to start the season. I have a lot of questions about this team right now, and I think that they're going to continue to falter until they can find their footing once again and start winning more games in a row. For our next 10 teams, we have the Seattle Seahawks at number 20, the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 19, the Miami Dolphins at 18, the Las Vegas Raiders at 17, the New England Patriots moving up to 16, the Carolina Panthers to 15, the Tennessee Titans at 14, the New Orleans Saints at 13, the Minnesota Vikings at 12, and the Kansas City Chiefs out of the top 10 at number 11. Nick, Why don't you tell us a little bit about the Raiders?
Oh boy, the Raiders. Man, I love to hate this team. And it's not because I hate any of the players. It's just because I know this team all too well. I know what I get from John Gruden. I know what I get from Derek Carr. And I know that it's not going to look good when they're facing teams that are well below their level. The Chicago Bears are not a good team this year. The defense has a ton of holes. They're not able to stop too much. And the offense, with Justin Fields, they look a little bit brighter. But I just don't think that anything is working. The run game, the pass game, none of it is really working. However, the Las Vegas Raiders make it very easy to win against you when they're playing at your level. And the Las Vegas Raiders did just that. Derek Carr not playing up to his level. Darren Waller not able to get going. Josh Jacobs not able to get going in his return. I just don't like anything I'm seeing from the Raiders right now. And they're going to continue to falter until they face probably a really good team in which they'll have a very strong game. This is just the way of the Raiders. When they play bad teams, they play bad. When they play really good teams, they play really good. This is why they end every season at the middle of the pack, 8-8. This year will probably be 7-9 or 9-8. But I just don't believe that the Las Vegas Raiders are for real. No matter what teams they are beating, they will always be in the middle of the pack. And from what I'm seeing, the Las Vegas Raiders have a ton of work to do if they have any chance at making the playoffs this year.
Yeah, the Raiders definitely have struggled over the last couple of weeks, but you know who else has struggled? The Kansas City Chiefs. And I never thought through week 5 I'd be having the Kansas City Chiefs out of the top 10. But it's come to that time. Because if you look at number 16, our New England Patriots have the same record as the Chiefs. And they've played equally tough teams. It's not like they've played, completely irrational teams to get that record. No. Losing to the Buffalo Bills, who is a top team in the NFL, is understandable. But just how bad it looked forced me to have to take these guys out of the top 10. The Kansas City Chiefs just cannot get anything going. They were talking about on Sunday Night Football's broadcast, Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels are just going on about how the cover 2 coverage, the most basic of defensive schemes, is stymieing this Chiefs offense to a point that they don't know what to do. And when you have offensive geniuses like Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy on your sideline with Patrick Mahomes at the helm, Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce looking to catch some passes, I can't imagine how this offense can be stymied in a way that the Buffalo Bills held them to 20 points, and that was a struggle in and of itself. The Bills were able to just do whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted, and it didn't look good at all. Now, I haven't even touched the defensive side of the ball, which I don't know what happened, if they got exposed last year in the Super Bowl, if the players that are around just aren't as good anymore. I don't know exactly what has happened, but nonetheless, the Chiefs' defense is just absolutely atrocious. They are ranked 31st out of 32 qualifying teams in the NFL. They can't stop anything through the air. They can't stop anything on the ground. Their big free agent acquisition, Jerron Reed, is non-existent. I don't know where he is. And on top of that, Chris Jones did not play in this one, but it shouldn't have mattered because at the end of the day, they still have Tyrann Mathieu on the back end of this defense. They still have great players who can make great plays, but they're just not doing that. Steve Spagnuolo really has to get this Chiefs defense going, and I believe that they have an opportunity to really right the ship, but it has to start now. Sitting at 2-3 through week 5 is not the plan that these coaches had for this team.
That's enough about the Chiefs, but moving on to the top 10, we start off with a big one, the Cincinnati Bengals making their first appearance here at number 10. What a great season they have been off to so far. Joe Burrow looking great, Jamar Chase looking like the offensive rookie of the year so far. Fantastic what this offense has been doing, and then the defense. Absolutely looking amazing. Trey Hendrickson, he is the real deal. A lot of people thought Cam Jordan was the reason he was having success. It's not. Trey Hendrickson is just that good, and we're starting to realize it now. This defense is legit. I believe that the Cincinnati Bengals might be one of the strongest teams in the AFC and have a very strong chance at making the playoffs. I think that if it weren't for a bad late second field goal made by Mason Crosby, that the Cincinnati Bengals would have had that game against the Packers. It came down to the wire, but I believe the Cincinnati Bengals are still one of the best teams in the NFL right now.
At number 9, we have the Baltimore Ravens, who have looked very strong through week 5. They have had ups and downs with injuries. They've had really good moments, they've had really low moments, but overall they've been able to keep this ship afloat. The defense has been able to work through injuries. Obviously, a rotating door at the running back position has caused a lot of question marks to be surrounded by Lamar Jackson and his output, but nonetheless, him and Hollywood Brown have the connection. Mark Andrews is still there and up and running. At the end of the day, the way all of this has worked, the Ravens have looked pretty decent, and they're going to stay at number 9 so far.
At number 8, we have the Cleveland Browns staying around for one more week. They had a great game against the Los Angeles Chargers. Unfortunately, they could not close it out in the waning seconds. Justin Herbert looking absolutely fantastic. The Cleveland Browns defense, they've looked solid up to this point, but giving up over 40 points to the Los Angeles Chargers, that is just purely unacceptable. You need to have strong defense if you're going to be successful in the NFL. I have not seen that from them in big games, and I need to see the entire team play as a unit before they can move up on this ladder board.
At number 7, we have the Green Bay Packers, who narrowly escaped the Cincinnati Bengals. Mason Crosby missing 3 straight field goals that would have won the game for the Packers. Nonetheless, he gets the job done in the end. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, these guys are for real. Aaron Jones rushing for over 100 yards once again. Devontae Adams, 206 receiving yards. Aaron Rodgers just lighting up the skies against the back end of this defense. And when it's all said and done, the Packers are a very strong team. They're going to go as far as Aaron Rodgers allows them to go. And right now, I think they have to stay at number 7 because of how close the game really was with the Bengals. I need to see more from them to keep moving them up.
At number 6, we have a big jump for the Los Angeles Chargers, moving up 4 spots after that massive win over the Browns. I just talked about how the Browns didn't perform. Well, the Los Angeles Chargers definitely performed. Justin Herbert looking fantastic. Mike Williams being one of the biggest stars of the year so far. This guy is uncoverable, and teams still don't realize that they need to double cover him every single time. Keenan Allen is that big threat that holds him off. With everybody working together, Austin Eckler being as powerful as he is, this is one of the strongest offenses, if not the strongest offense in the NFL right now. The defense is holding up their end of the bargain. They just have to continue to improve on this. I really like what Brandon Staley, Justin Herbert, and the rest of the Chargers have been doing so far. They need to keep this up.
Entering the top 5, we have the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys and all of their fans are so excited for what this team has done so far. The offense looks incredible, being able to put up over 40 points at will. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, they can do it all. Dalton Schultz has looked really good. And then the offset between Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, keeping those legs fresh, and the offensive line being able to manhandle any defense that you put in front of them. I'm really excited for where this Cowboys offense can go. On the defensive side of the ball, the addition of Dan Quinn on the coaching staff has really shown to be one of the best things this team could have done. We see Keanu Neal making plays, Trayvon Diggs, obviously the leading candidate for Defensive Player of the Year with his league-leading 6th interception of the season. So many great things working for this team, and they don't even have DeMarcus Lawrence. Look out for the Dallas Cowboys because they are for real and they are coming.
Absolutely. At number 4, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off of a huge win. Tom Brady might be in line for MVP right now. I believe he's a top 3 candidate, but him putting up 5 touchdowns, 400 yards passing, unbelievable. This guy just gets better each and every week with age. I don't understand how he does it, but the Buccaneers as a whole, they're looking strong. The secondary, yes, they have their issues, but that will work itself out. And right now, it's not a problem because they are winning games handily. I believe the Buccaneers are going to keep this up. They are one of the stronger units as they've stayed together, all of them from last season. That is chemistry that you cannot come around a lot. I believe the Buccaneers are still one of the biggest threats in the NFC.
At number 3, we have the Los Angeles Rams, the Rams who beat the Buccaneers, but also struggled against the Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks are a divisional opponent, and I give you a little leeway when divisional opponents arise because those are tough games. Those are the opponents that know you the most. But nonetheless, Matthew Stafford willed his team to victory. He looked incredible in this game. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods really stepped up and performed lights out for this team. And at the end of the day, they still have Aaron Donald. They still have Jalen Ramsey. These guys are going to take over ball games when they need to. And we saw it happen. The Rams are one of the strongest teams on both sides of the football. They are for real, and that's why they're here at number 3.
At number 2, we have their division rival, the Arizona Cardinals, still the only undefeated team in the NFL, looking unbelievable. It was a close game against the 49ers, but it is a divisional matchup, and the 49ers are still a very solid team under Kyle Shanahan. The Cardinals, they scrapped one together, but I believe that they are a much better team than what occurred in Week 5. They're going to continue to prove they are the strongest team in the NFC as they face the Cleveland Browns in Week 6. But I really love what I've seen so far. This defense is going to be a tough task for any offense to handle. And as long as Kyler Murray's under center, I believe that the floor for the Arizona Cardinals offense is set very high. The Arizona Cardinals are the team to beat right now in the NFC. And I can't wait to see what's ahead for them.
The Arizona Cardinals are the league's only undefeated team, yet they sit at number 2. And that's simply because the Buffalo Bills, they may have lost their first game, and yes, on a blocked punt, Nicholas, but the fact remains that the Buffalo Bills have looked so strong and so dominant on both ends of the field that they cannot go unnoticed. They are the number 1 team on our power rankings for a reason. Josh Allen has led a surgical, and I mean surgical, precision passing attack that has really just carved up any defense that you've thrown at him. Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley, Stephon Diggs really hasn't even gotten into the mix. Dawson Knox still there and working. The rotation between Devin Singletary and Zach Moss in the running back position has really helped this team get going. They have some offset to Josh Allen throwing the ball now. And on top of that, this defense is for real. The front 7 has always been extremely strong. Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. These guys are for real. They can cover anyone. And now you're starting to see Levi Wallace really get into the mix. I saw him have incredible coverage on players like Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce against the Chiefs. The Buffalo Bills absolutely outworked and outclassed the Kansas City Chiefs in their Week 5 matchup. And I can't imagine a better team to sit atop our power rankings heading into Week 6.
Yeah, you talked about how Josh Allen was so surgical. He did that in the Kansas City Chiefs kingdom, where it is one of the harshest environments to play in, and he just handled it like a champion, like a true elite player. Josh Allen is the real deal. Year 4 is much better than we saw in year 3, and I didn't even think that was possible. This is a scary Buffalo Bills team. I don't think there's a team in the league that really even comes close to them.
I agree 100%, but I want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of this power rankings, which teams are too high and which teams are too low. Let us know in the comments down below. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.